Okay guys, in today's video, I'm going to be coming and showing you guys my essential brushes. I'm actually going to group it into two sections. One section is going to be brushes that I think are essential if you're just starting out, if you're a beginner, if you're really not that much into makeup. And then another group of brushes which are more comprehensive in terms of different detailed eye brushes, different blending brushes and things like that. So if you're interested in seeing this video, please keep watching. I also hope that the echo is not too bad. I'm in the bathroom right now, so there is an echo. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. But yeah, like I said, my friend requested for me to do this video and I thought it would be good because I was actually thinking about doing a video all about makeup brushes, but I just never got around to it. If you're just starting out with makeup and maybe you're a younger girl, or maybe you're just not really that much into makeup, maybe you don't wear it day to day, I think I have a set of brushes that would be perfect for you. And I'm also going to show you one set of brushes that I think encompasses everything you would need in a brush collection for somebody who just wants to be able to do everything. So let's get started with the first set of brushes I'm going to show you. Now all these brushes are clean, but for some reason the foundation that I use with this brush actually stains it. But this is the brush that I use for foundation. The first thing that I think is essential in any brush collection or starter kit is going to be a foundation brush. And of course you would alter this according to what type of coverage you like. The denser the bristles are, the more coverage you're going to get and the more control you're going to have of the product. Because I like a full coverage foundation, I tend to use a full coverage brush. This is the number 53 from Sephora. You don't have to stick to the exact brands I'm getting. I mainly use Sephora and MAC just because it's easily accessible and I like them, but you can use brushes from any line. I actually have brushes that are probably $2 all the way up to $60. So the first thing you're gonna want is a really good foundation brush. Now, as far as eyeshadow goes, if you're into simple eye makeup, if you really don't do a lot of detailed work or colors, I think this brush is just all you need. This is a MAC 217 and it's probably not focusing, but this is just a standard fluffy blending brush. I think this is perfect because you can place color on your actual lid and you can also blend out colors in your crease and apply colors to the inner corner or the brow bone. So if I was gonna say one brush for a starter kit, it would definitely be a fluffy blending brush like this one. And this is the MAC 217. The bristles are fairly dense, but not too tightly packed. So you still have a little control, but also some flexibility as well. Now the next brush is actually an eyebrow brush. I know even when I don't do a lot of makeup, if I want to at least look halfway decent, one thing I like to do is my eyebrows. This is the brush that I have found that works the best for me. I probably tried maybe 3 eyebrow brushes and I settled with the Anastasia Beverly Hills number 12. Sorry, I use this for my dip brow and then I use the end to blend out the product and make them look more natural. This is my favorite brush. I will say that the ferrule over here was very loose, so I had to super glue it together. But other than that, I definitely think any eyebrow brush is essential. You don't have to go with this one. Now, because this video is all about brushes, for concealer, I'm going to show you this brush. This is a Sedona Lace number 217. I primarily like to use my Beautyblender for concealer because I don't really use concealer under my makeup as far as on my complexion. I just use it under my eyes, but this is a brush that I really like for concealer. The bristles are tightly packed. It is a very full brush, so it's nice and it gives you really good coverage if that's something that you're looking for, which you probably are if you're using a concealer. And the last brush I think is essential just for a very basic brush set is going to be a blush brush. And this is my MAC 129. The numbers have rubbed off because I've had this brush since I was in college a long time ago. There are some other styles of blush brushes that I do like, but this tends to be my favorite, and I think, well, it's not necessarily my favorite. It would be my choice for someone just starting out, or if you're only gonna have one blush brush, I would say it would be this one. It's a really nice paddle shape. It's very light and fluffy, and it's also full in the middle, so you can place the brush precisely and blend it out as well. So that would be the last brush I would say for someone who just wants like a really basic starter kit. You have your blush brush, a concealer brush or a sponge Beautyblender, an eyebrow brush, a foundation, and one eyeshadow brush. So now I'm going to show you, once again in this kit, I'm going to show you my foundation brush because that's essential, I think, for anybody. If you're using a brush for a foundation, you're gonna need a foundation brush, so that's the first one. And for myself, I like to have a variety of blending brushes, so I'm just gonna show you two. This is a tapered blending brush. I hope this is in focus. This is a tapered blending brush. This is a Sephora Pro Tapered Crease brush number 19. I will list all the brushes below. And if you can see it, it actually is tapered. So this is really good for getting in the crease of your eye. So as far as blending brushes go for eye makeup application, you definitely want to take into consideration your eye shape. I have rather small eyes. I have a small crease area. So I have to have brushes that are kind of tapered and chiseled so that I can be more detailed and really get in my crease to blend out the product. So that's why I like the tapered crease brush. Now, when I just want to simply blend out shadow into my crease going up to my brow bone, or if I just want a natural transitional color, I'll use a more fluffy crease brush like this one. This is just a regular fluffy crease brush. This is actually by Tarina Tarantino. This was sold at Sephora. They don't sell this line anymore, but any, fluffy crease brush would work. I also have one from MAC. This is the MAC 224. Anything that's dome shaped and tapered a little bit, but not too much, is going to be good for applying colors to your crease. So you're definitely going to want a crease brush. Another brush that I think is essential is going to be a brush for applying eyeshadow to your brow area for your highlight. And for that, I like to use a loosely packed brush. Why can't I speak today? And I hope you can't hear the thunder. For that, I like to use a brush that has bristles that are very, very loosely packed. As you can see, this is a very flexible brush, but I like that because it applies the lightest amount of color. When you're looking at makeup brushes, the things you want to keep in mind are, like I said earlier, the tighter packed your bristles are, the more product application you're gonna get. If your bristles aren't very tightly packed, you're not gonna get a very good color payoff. But that also depends on what look you're going for. Sometimes you may want bristles that are very tightly packed and sometimes you may not. So that's why I like this brush. Now, speaking about the different density of the bristles, another brush that I really like is my Sephora Pro Smokey Crease brush. This is number 31. This is actually a brush that I fell in love with when I was working at Sephora. One day my friend was showing me how to use the dip brow, and I had to take off the eyebrows that I had on, and my eyeshadow kind of got like a crease in it and I wanted to blend it out, and this was perfect. The bristles in this brush are very, very tightly packed, as you can see. So it's perfect for buffing out really, really harsh lines. Anything that looks too harsh, if you use a brush with very tightly packed bristles, it's really gonna help to blend that color out effortlessly. So that is why I like this brush here. Then you're gonna want something for smudging, for using eyeshadow as liner. So for that, I use this pencil brush, and this is the Tarina Tarantino 74 smudge brush. I use this, like I said, if I want to apply eyeshadow as a liner, if I want to put a color in my inner tear duct, that is what I will use this brush for. It's very, very tightly packed, and the bristles also come to a tapered point. Now for color, when I want to apply color to my lid, I have two different choices for brushes. My number one favorite is my MAC 239, which I'm sure a lot of you guys know about. It has white bristles, it's very thin, it's just really great at precisely applying color. But the only thing about this brush is that I hate to get it dirty. I don't know if that's just me. I know I am OCD, so I really only like using this brush with lighter colors. So that's why I decided to get this brush. This is my Dior number 21, and I use this brush when I want to apply darker colors all over my lid. So these are both lid brushes for me. I use the MAC one when I'm applying lighter colors and the Dior one when I'm applying darker colors. You don't need to have two separate brushes. I just like to because I don't always clean my brushes after using them, and you don't want to mix colors. As far as a lip brush, for the life of me, I cannot find the lip brush that I usually use, so I had to just use something different. This is from the original Sephora brush collection. This is the angled eyeliner brush, and it actually still has some plastic around the ferrule. I started using this for a lip brush probably a little over a week ago, and I love it. It's very precise. You can line your lips with the lipstick, which is usually what I do, and so that's how I have found a use for this brush. You can also use this for liquid or gel eyeliners, and that is the brush that I actually forgot. But for gel eyeliners, you could use something like this as well. Now, as far as highlighting powders go, I really love a fan brush. I find that it just provides the most effortless application, and since these bristles are very loosely packed, it's going to give you a light application, which I like because you can always build the color as you go. This is a discontinued Sephora brush as well. This is the Sephora highlighting fan brush number 122, and I just love it. It also comes with a little cover over it, which is great when you're traveling so you don't get highlighter everywhere. My second to last brush is one that is near and dear to my heart. This is probably the most expensive brush I own. I believe it was about $50 or $60. This is the MAC 139. I really can't see it, so I'm not sure. But it's basically a large tapered powder brush. The bristles are kind of medium density, so it lets you control the product, but it doesn't give you too much product when you're applying it. I really like this brush for bronzer. You can use it for contour. I have used it for both, and I like it because since it's tapered at the top, you can place the product and then blend it out with the body of the brush, which is a little more full. So that's why I love this brush. And my last brush is going to be something that I've acquired recently. Once again, it's a little stained, but I promise it's clean. I just cleaned all my brushes. This is what I use for my bronzer. This is the Sephora Pro number 46. You can use any type of bronzer brush you wish. This is my favorite. It has synthetic hairs. It is fairly tightly packed, so it gives you a nice amount of product when you're applying it, which I like because I don't know if it's just a thing of being a woman of color, but when I apply bronzers, sometimes it can be really hard for me to see them. So I like having a brush that, you know, lets me place the right amount of product. So this is my favorite bronzer brush. Okay guys, so that is going to be the end of my video all about the different brushes I think you can have, whether you're a starter or you want to start a makeup kit, if you want to start freelancing, or just anybody in between. These are all of my favorite brushes. These are not all of them. I have a ton of brushes even though I don't use them all, but these are probably my most used brushes, and these are ones that I would recommend to anybody. Once again, you do not have to get the specific brands I got. A lot of these brushes, there are dupes out there for them. Sedona Lace, Sigma. I don't know if I said it, but this one was actually a Sigma brush. No, this was a Coastal Scents, the C200. This is the one I use for my brow highlight. This is a Coastal Scents brush. So that just shows you the variety and price range. You don't have to spend a lot of money for brushes. Sometimes the quality is dependent upon the price, but for the most part, you can find good dupes. Also check your art stores because you can find really nice painting brushes for use with makeup there, and they're always going to be less expensive. So yeah, those are my tips. Let me see. Oh, the last thing, cleaning my brushes. I forgot to bring them in the bathroom. The two products that I use, the first thing I use is going to be a MAC brush cleanser, and I actually put a spray cap from a Bath & Body Works spray on there so that I can just spray the paper towel and swish the brush around. That's what I use for daily cleansing if I'm using any dark colors, anything with glitter, anything that's gonna stain. And then when I'm deep cleansing my brushes, I use baby shampoo. It's quick and easy, and it's also very cheap. When it comes to brushes like these that are tightly packed and synthetic, I use the Beautyblender Cleansing Solid, which also works really well for the Beautyblender. I didn't use the cleanser on these because I'm still packed up and I have not found it, but that's a good solid for use with brushes that are very hard to clean. So yeah, I hope I've answered any questions you guys might have, and I hope I touched on everything as well. If you do have any questions or comments, just leave them down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.